Hey, what's up everybody? So guess what? Today we're going to talk about cooking oils. Specifically olive oils and what they are and stuff like that. So some of the topics that I'll be covering today are: what is olive oil? Yeah, what is olive oil? Do you know that? I'm assuming you're probably thinking, I know it's made out of olives. But yes, there's a little bit more to that than just being olives. There's a process to it. There's a couple of different processes, and we're going to talk about that as well. The second thing we're going to talk about is types of olive oils. Now,
that can be confusing.
types of olive oils, because there's so many out there. There used to be just olive oil, virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and then all of a sudden there's all types of olive oils. Now, all of the olive oils are not good when it comes to processing, okay? So just because you see it on the shelf doesn't exactly mean it's a good olive oil. Pretty much olive oil comes down to your preference of taste, and we'll talk about that too. One of the other things we're going to cover is, how do you taste olive oil? You're like, what? I usually just buy it and I cook with it. But how does it taste? Do you know how to taste olive oil? We're going to talk about that too. Just like you would, taste a wine or something like that. Yeah, there's a way you taste olive oil. All right, another thing we're going to cover is the uses of olive oil by the type of olive oil it is. I was at the grocery store and I was just basically looking for olive oil. Not virgin olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil, not infused olive oil, but I was just looking for olive oil, and I was overwhelmed with the amount of olive oil types there are. So today we're just going to cover olive oil, virgin olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and we're even going to throw in some of that good old avocado oil, because I need to talk about avocado oil if I'm going to talk about olive oil, because it's very important. It's very important. All right, so smoke points of olive oil. Did you guys know that there's a smoke point? And if you did, then you're probably ahead of the curve of most people, because a lot of people are wondering, why does their house smoke up so much when they're trying to sear a steak with olive oil? Now, let me say this. We've all watched the videos on how to cook steak and how to cook, chicken and in a skillet and stuff like that. But do you notice they never really tell you what type of oil they're using? They usually just say olive oil, throw some olive oil in, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, a teaspoon of olive oil, a dash of olive oil, a sprinkle of olive oil. They never really tell you what type of olive oil they're using. It's very important. After this video, you'll understand why it's important to know your olive oils and their smoke points. Okay, so we're going to talk about that too. Then we're going to talk about frying with olive oil. Yeah. How many of you out there actually fry chicken, stuff like that, fish, with olive oil? We're also going to talk about infusing olive oils. One of my favorite things to do is infuse my olive oils with garlic, herbs, that type of stuff. But what type of olive oil are you going to infuse? Because you have to know the purpose of what you're going to use the oil for when you infuse it. So we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about how to store your olive oil. Yeah, there's a way that you store it, and we're going to talk about that too. And we're going to talk about what's better than olive oil. What is better than olive oil? Well, it depends on the purpose and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that too. All right, so first, let's start off with, what is olive oil? All right, so let's talk about what is olive oil. Olive oil is a liquid fat obtained from olives, a traditional tree crop of the Mediterranean basin, produced by pressing whole olives and extracting the oil. Yeah, it's just that simple. That's exactly what olive oil is. Now, you might say, yeah, but there are quite a few different olive oils. And that is true. There are quite a few different olive oils, and these are not even the tip of the scale. These are just a couple of them. As you've seen in the video, there are a whole bunch of types of olive oils. But we're going to keep it simple today because that is a rabbit hole that is way too big for this video. After all, we just want to learn about olive oils just a little bit. And then if you choose to, dive into that rabbit hole of all kinds of different flavors and types of olive oil, you can do that. And just let me know what you learn. All right, all about the olive oil. All right, so there's virgin, there's extra virgin, and then there's a few other types, like I said. But let's just start off with the basics. All right, so virgin and extra virgin olive oils are standards that are set by the International Olive Oil Council. Yes, isn't that a mouthful? The Olive Oil Council. I'll just call it the OOC. And they mark the quality of the olive oils, and the quality of it is based off of oleic acid. That's another rabbit hole. There's a whole bunch of videos on that. So virgin olive oils can contain up to 2% oleic acid. Extra virgin olive oil contains no more than 0.8% of oleic acid, and it is subjectively deemed superior in flavor to standard virgin olive oil. Yeah, so extra virgin is better than virgin as far as the quality goes. Now, neither of the oils can be made from olives that have been heated to extract oil. So oil cannot be, or heat cannot be used to extract the oil from the olives, okay? No heat at all. The extra virgin production of most countries accounts for between 5 and 10% of their total output, hence the pricing of extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, that's why you're going to pay a little bit extra money for the extra virgin olive oil. Then there's the first cold press. On your bottles you might see the term cold press or first cold press, and that just says that the olive oil was processed from unheated olives and that the oil came from their first pressing. To a large degree, this label overlaps the extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so if you see first cold press, that just means that the oil came from the first press. This might save you some money. Virgin olive oils are pressed or spun only once to extract the best quality oil. All right, no virgin olive oil can be pressed more than once. Can't be pressed more than once. First pressed is a marketing spin. Okay, so when you see the terms first pressed on the bottles, it's just a marketing ploy, and they might be charging you extra money for that, because when it's all said and done, they can only be pressed once to be considered a virgin olive oil. Okay, all right, pure or light. When you see that on there, it has nothing to do with the olive oil's calorie content. Just remember that. When you see pure or light on your olive oil bottles, it has nothing to do with the calorie content. It only indicates flavor. That's right. It means it has a pure or light flavor to it. So keep that in mind. Those olives are made from pressing of olives or from olives that have been heated to extract more oil. The oil is then refined so that none of the flavorful compounds found in virgin or extra virgin oil are present, leaving you with the neutral oil with a high smoke point. And we're going to talk about smoke points because it's very important that you know the smoke points when you're using your olive oils. Now, light olive oils tend to be far more expensive than vegetable or canola oils, which will work just as well or better for cooking. So how do you find a good one? Well, the advice is to locate a store that will let you sample the oils. That's right. Find a store that will let you sample the oils. Now, there's some places like Best Foods or other higher end grocery stores that will let you actually sample the oil. Now, you can spend a whole lot of money on your oils, but what I recommend is taste the oil. Okay? Taste the oil and you decide if you like the oil or not, if you can taste it. If you can't taste it, then I would recommend probably looking on Amazon, buying a sample pack with the little bottles, and just see which ones you like. That way, when you make that big purchase for a bigger bottle, you'll know exactly what you're getting flavor-wise, okay? All right, so how do you taste the olive oil? And we're gonna do that. We're gonna actually taste the olive oil. First, we're gonna start off with my little glass right here. Yep. Can you see it? This little glass. Yeah, it's almost like cognac, some type of glass. I love the shape of them, and I like when I'm tasting certain things, I can just pour it in here and, you know, swirl it around and get the taste of it. So first, I want to start off by tasting the extra virgin olive oil. We're going to pour about 2 tablespoons in there. Okay. And this olive oil right here is Casabella by Ranieri. It's an extra virgin olive oil, European origin. And then if you're wondering about European origin, or if the origin you want to know about the origin of your olive oils, then you can look on the back of it and they'll have initials on it to tell you about it. So for me, this says GR and PT, and GR is for Greece and PT is for Portugal. Okay, and it also has the expiration, or best by, is by December 10th, 2022, and it has the lot number that it's from. Okay, so there you go. Now, how do you taste it? Now, first you want to make sure that your glass is warm. Kind of like if you're an espresso person, then you like to have your glass pre-warmed before you put that shot of espresso in there. So my glass already pre-warmed it, and it's pretty nice. And you just hold it like this. Okay? Hold it like that at the bottom. It heats up the glass a little bit. Now what you want to do is swirl it around. Swirl it around so that way the oil can like hit the edges of the glass, kind of like coating the glass a little bit. All right, like that. And what that does is it releases the flavors, and it's a molecule thing, so it releases the flavors and the scent of it. And then what you do is you smell it. Put your nose right in there. That smells good. Okay, and it has a sweet smell to it. You should smell a little bit of sweetness to it. And then once you take a sip of it, you inhale some oxygen into your mouth while you take a sip of it. And you want it to go across your tongue, okay? And you draw it across your tongue, on your palate, back of your mouth, through your nose. Now, you're probably going to taste like a fruity, which you should taste a little bit of a fruity, not like an apple or orange or something like that, but you should have a hint of fruitiness to it. That is good. And then you should also taste a little bit of bitterness. Now, bitterness is not bad when it comes to olive oil. Keep that in mind. Bitterness is not bad when it comes to tasting olive oil. And you should also taste like a peppery type at the back of your throat. And in some cases, it might make you cough, but there's nothing wrong with having that bitterness and that peppery taste to it. Delicious. This is delicious right here. I like that. Okay, so we tasted that one. Let me grab a glass because I want to taste this one as well. All right. Man, I can still taste the fruitiness and the peppery thing on the back of my tongue and in my throat with this. This is really, 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 really good. All right, now this one is from Costco. It's the Kirkland Signature brand, and it's the organic extra virgin olive oil. Code extract was their process for this one. Okay? All right. A couple tablespoons. Get those flavors released. The aroma. Compare it. This one has more of, I guess I would say, a nutty, almost fruity smell. This one has more of a clean, I don't know how to describe it. It's not really fruity. If I was to compare this to a fruit, I would probably put it on the lower scale of a fruit that doesn't have a lot of scent, but you can tell it's a fruit. Maybe a really, really light grape smell to it, or grape aroma if you want to be technical about it. All right, so I'm going for the taste. Inhale it through my nostrils real good, get a good smell. Slurp some in. I'm definitely getting the peppery on the back of my tongue and my throat. Nice. This has more of a smoother taste. Now remember this, when you're tasting your olive oils, they shouldn't taste oily. They should not have that oily taste or rancid taste to it. You should enjoy the taste of it, okay? So bitterness is good. Hints of a fruitiness to it is good because an olive is fruit. So you're going to get some little hints of fruit. You should get some hints of fruitiness to it. And then the peppery taste that hits the back of your throat, that's a good thing as well, okay? So just keep that in mind when you taste your olive oils. All right, I like this one. Now, if I was to do a salad, I would use both of these, but I like this one better. This one is giving me some good feelings in my throat. All right, now this right here now, speaking of olive oils, this is an extra virgin olive oil that I infused with garlic and herbs, Italian herbs, okay? So that's why you see these chunks sitting on the bottom of it. Now, I want to go on a taste with this. Now, the olive oil that I used is this right here, okay? So I poured some of this into this, put the garlic in, put the herbs in. This is a very, very great way to pretty much save some time when you're cooking, because I like to have garlic and herbs taste to certain foods. And so since this is already infused, I just pour a little bit of that in there and bam, I'm good to go. I have the flavors that I'm looking for. All right, so let's go in with a little taste of this. The smell, lovely. Garlic and herb, man, can't beat it. All right, let's roll it around. Get those flavors released, the aroma. Inhale, the smell, the aroma, delicious. The garlic and the herb, lovely. All right, swirl around some more. Time to taste. That is delicious. If you were to make a salad, let's say if you did some smoked chicken breasts and you chop them up, put them in the salad, the lettuce, carrots, whatever you want to put in there, man, and you drizzle some of this on top of it, this will give it a nice, clean flavor. That garlic flavor is just sitting right there on my tongue. It's delicious. Then the peppery part of the olive oil kicks in on the back of my throat. It is delicious. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's get into tasting this avocado oil right here. This is the one I'm gonna taste right here. All right, this is the one that I paid a little bit more money for a bottle a little bit bigger than this one. It's like 18 bucks almost. This is 8.4 fluid ounces, man. So let's find out what the taste is like. Okay, now first, before I taste this, even though this has a high smoke point, it is not recommended to try and fry food with the avocado oil. Okay? So, you can use it to saute and bake up to 449 degrees is what they recommend, but you cannot deep fry with it. Okay? Now the flavor of avocado oil is slightly grassy with a mild avocado flavor. It tastes more neutral than olive oil, especially once it's cooked. Avocado oil is meant for medium high heat use. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now we're going to taste it. See the color, it's definitely lighter than olive oil. Swirl it around. See the color. Smell it. Doesn't really have too much of an aroma, a smell to it. Very, very light aroma to it. Nothing nutty or fruity about it. Okay, I'm going for the taste. Inhale before I take a sip, then slurp. It is a very, very, very clean taste to it. And from the description, they say that it should have a grassy taste to it. I'm getting a little hint of flavor. I'm not sure if I would call it grassy, but it's a nice clean taste, very subtle, not strong at all. For me, I think I'm going to try to do some infusing with this by putting some garlic in it and some herbs just to see how it works out. Let's move on to the next part. Now we're going to talk about olive oils by use. How do you use your olive oils? Based off of the type of olive oil it is. The uses of olive oil based on the type of olive oil you have is very important. So when you have the extra virgin olive oil, it's thick, it's highly flavorful oil, it has a low smoke point. Keep that in mind, which makes it unsuitable for frying. So the last thing you want to do is use your extra virgin olive oil for frying. Do not use your extra virgin olive oil for frying, all right? It's best used for drizzling and as a base for dressings, like I just said. This makes a delicious partner when it comes to dressings, okay? Extra virgin olive oil, do not fry with it at all, okay? Remember that. The smoke point is 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Have you ever wondered why when you're making a steak and you throw some olive oil in there and it starts to burn? Yeah, you ever wonder about that? Well, it's probably because you're using the extra virgin olive oil, and that smoke point at 320 degrees is not a good thing when you're trying to cook a steak. That $50 steak, you just pretty much ruined it by using extra virgin olive oil. So do not fry with it, do not use it with your steaks. Here's what you need to know about basic general olive oil, okay? The smoke point for that is 390 degrees. It's more versatile than virgin olive oil, has a higher smoke point, and it can be used to impart the olive oil flavor to fried foods. Did you know that you can fry with olive oil? Did you know that? Olive oil, you can actually fry with it. Now, there are some people that like to argue about frying with olive oil because, like I said, peanut oil is a great source of frying chicken, fries, and stuff like that. It's a great source to have when you're deep frying stuff. Now, for me personally, if I'm going to use olive oil, now pay attention, when I say olive oil, I'm not saying extra virgin olive oil, I'm not saying virgin olive oil, I'm saying olive oil, Okay? Olive oil. Smoke point, 390 degrees. Alright? If I'm going to fry with olive oil, I like to do it shallow. Okay? I don't like to fill up a big pot of olive oil and fry with it. Okay? Now, if you're going to use olive oil to fry with, this is what I recommend you use. I recommend you use one of these right here. Okay? A cooking thermometer. Big one like this, has a clamp on it. You just put it on the edge of the pot and it'll tell you the temperature. Okay? This will help you not burn the heck out of your food or your oil or get the house real smoky. Okay, so like I said, olive oil itself, it has a smoke point of 390 degrees. So as you can see right here, for deep frying, 350 degrees is what this thermometer says. 350 degrees. So you're in the safe zone when using olive oil for frying. Personally, for me, I like to use peanut oil when I'm doing deep fries, like if I'm doing some chicken wings or some chicken breast or something like that, or some pork. I like to use the peanut oil, but you can use olive oil. Once again, you can use olive oil. Okay, speaking about frying, I feel that it is my responsibility to tell you a few things when it comes to frying, because I love fried chicken. I love pretty much everything fried. Might not be the healthiest, but occasionally I like to, spoil myself by deep frying chicken, pork chops, all kind of stuff, even ribs. Love fried ribs. All right, so here's a technique, or actually here's a cooking tool to enhance your frying. What do you use when you fry stuff? What type of pot? Do you use a cast iron? What do you use? Now, you want to know the secret to making great fried food? A wok. That's right, not a walk, like not go outside and go for a walk. A wok, W-O-K. A wok will turn your frying game into something amazing. It has its benefits. The shape makes it easier to maneuver the food around. The waste, it settles down to the bottom a lot better, and it's easy to discard it. And it's easy to just fry stuff up. It's easy. The edges of it, the shape of the wok will definitely improve the way you fry your food. Now, with that being said, when you fry food, what do you do with your oil? Do you toss it? Do you reuse it? Do you clean it out and reuse it again? Well, check this out. Olive oil, you can reuse it over and over again. Just like, with lard and other stuff like that. But with olive oil, you can reuse it over and over again as long as you pay attention to how you use it, the temperature, the smoke point. Okay? So, keys to maximize your oil use. Like I said, watch the temperature. Don't let oil get past the smoke point, because if you do, the oil will break down and your oil just won't be good anymore. Okay? Remove excess batter and breading meticulously during and after frying. Make sure you remove that excess batter, because it will burn and it will cause your oil to taste terrible. Okay? So remove all that. And then make sure you store your oil in a cool, dark, and dry place. Speaking of storing your oil, do you notice what these oils have in common? Not this one, because this is my own thing right here. But what do you notice about these? The containers. The containers are all dark. That's to keep the sunlight out of it, because when heat hits olive oil, it causes it to break down. Then you lose the quality of your oil. Okay? So, some people go out and buy big containers for the olive oils. Me, I pretty much buy them like this, and when I'm done with the olive oil, I'm done. There's no need for me to pour it into another container unless I am doing one of these right here. Yep. Only time I take the oil out of the bottles is if I'm cooking with it, or if I'm going to infuse some type of flavor to my oil. Okay, so you have that. Now, I forgot to tell you about one of the stars of the show. That's this right here, avocado oil. Avocado oil is healthy. Stuff is healthy for you. All right, and the smoke point, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. 500 degrees Fahrenheit, man. 12% saturated fat too. Healthy, healthy, healthy. All right, now that I done opened the gate, said something about saturated fat, and we already talked about, you know, smoke points, I'm just gonna run down a list for you real quick to tell you about smoke points of certain oils and the percentage of saturated fat. All right, you ready for it? Here we go. Butter, 300 degrees to 350 degrees Fahrenheit smoke point. 62% saturated fat. Coconut oil, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 86% saturated fat. Vegetable shortening, 360 degrees Fahrenheit, 31% fat. Extra virgin olive oil, yay, 375 degrees to 410 degrees Fahrenheit, 13% fat. Sesame oil, pretty decent smoke rate, 410 degrees Fahrenheit, 14 degrees saturated fat. Light olive oil, the stuff you're going to pay a little bit of extra money for, 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees, nah, I said 13 degrees, I meant 13% saturated fat. All right, peanut oil, woohoo, 440 degrees Fahrenheit, 17% saturated fat. Sunflower oil, don't really use it that much, 440 degrees Fahrenheit, 10% fat. Saturated fat, let me be specific, saturated fat, okay? Corn oil, 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 13% saturated fat. Palm oil, now, palm oil, I've heard some good things and bad things about palm oil, but let's just throw it out there anyway. Palm oil, 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 81% saturated fat. Woo! Wow. Soybean oil, 495 degrees Fahrenheit, 14% saturated fat. Safflower oil, 510 degrees Fahrenheit, 9% saturated fat. Wow. Avocado oil, 520 degrees Fahrenheit, 12% fat. Yeah, so with all that being said, what did we cover in the video so far? We covered what is olive oil. I didn't dive deep into it, so if you're going to leave comments down below and I left some things out, it's because I didn't want to dive deep into it, okay? I just wanted to give you guys some information so that way the next time you go to the grocery store, you will get an idea about those olive oils that you see in the sections like I did. There's a whole bunch of different olive oils out there. Okay, so we also talked about types of olive oil. How does it taste? How do you taste the olive oil? Olive oil and the uses by type. Smoke points of olive oil and different oils. Frying with olive oil. Infusing with olive oil. Storing your olive oil. And what's better than olive oil? Okay? So, I hope you guys learned something. And if there's stuff that you want to tell me about olive oil that I didn't mention, hey, let me know. Leave a comment down below. And make sure you subscribe and like and all that good stuff. And I'll see you on the next video. I will be doing more videos based off of learning stuff. So I'm going to be covering pasta, frying, types of fat for baking, herbs, how to use them, the different types of herbs, garlic. I love garlic. There are some things that I think you'll be interested to know about garlic, the taste and all that stuff, breading and deep frying, that type of stuff. So make sure you subscribe, like, set your notifications, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.